Hey guys, Saki from SAKITECH, and in today's video what we're going to do is we are going to be sharing the first 13 things to do with your brand new iPhone 13 Pro Max. These tactics are going to get you the best settings to get you started and also maximize your ownership, so let's dive in. Now the very first thing you want to do with your iPhone is you want to go to your settings. You want to scroll down just a little bit until you see the battery icon. You want to click on that, alright? And you want to click on battery health. And once you're in here, here's what you want to make sure. You want to make sure the maximum battery capacity shows 100%. If this shows anything less than 100%, that is not a good sign. You want to return the phone and get a replacement. For a brand new phone, it should be 100%. It should not even be 99%. And it should say peak performance capability. So that's number one. Number two, while you're here, you can enable or disable this option. Now here's the thing. If you disable this option, your phone is going to charge faster. If you have this enabled, it says at the bottom to reduce battery aging. iPhone is going to learn from your daily usage and it's basically going to extend the battery life. So I would recommend you have this enabled to maximize your battery life. But if you want slightly faster charging from 0 to 100, you want to make sure this one is in fact turned off. And notice when you tap on this guy, it gives you two options. You can turn off until tomorrow, so it's going to be temporary, or you can just turn it off completely. It's your choice. I recommend have it enabled just in case. Now the next thing that you want to do is it has to do with your brightness. So when you go into display, okay, and when you look over here, you can see the brightness slider is here, but you do not see an auto brightness setting. It is turned on by default, so you do want to turn that off if you want to be able to manually control your brightness. It's something we do all the time. You look at the screen, so this is a crucial setting. Again, you make the decision. So you go to accessibility, you go to display and text size, and all the way at the bottom, you're going to see the auto brightness option. Now by default, it's going to be turned on. If you want full manual control, you want to turn that off. Otherwise, it does automatically adjust the display brightness without your input. Alright, so the next thing that you want to set up is you want to go to your settings, then you want to go into your display and brightness, and you just want to make sure raise to wake is enabled. So basically here's what's happening. Let me turn off the phone, and basically if the phone is sitting on the table and I get a message, I can just raise and it's going to wake the device. I can glance at it, put it away, and move on if it's nothing important. So that's raise to wake. Now if I don't have raise to wake enabled, if I turn this off, you'll notice when the phone is turned off like this, and if I raise it, it is not going to wake up. So there is a benefit to this as well. Let me just unlock it. Just so you know, if you don't have raise to wake enabled, you could also save some battery because it's going to be less stress on the screen every time you pick it up. So that's your choice if you want this or not. I like to have it, and also make sure the auto lock option is set to 30 seconds or 1 minute. If you have it at 5 minutes or never, the screen basically never shuts off. So the longer this period here, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, the more battery life your phone is wasting. And you want the maximum battery, and this does not compromise any performance. So keep it at a minute or 30 seconds. So when you don't look at the phone for 30 seconds, it just locks up automatically. For this video, I'm going to keep it at 5 minutes. Now the next feature is a pretty impressive and useful feature. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Now if I go to any website over here, let's say I am at a website and I'm looking at a photo image with some text in the background. There are several ways I can easily extract the text from that photo. I can do this anywhere. This is just one example. So there's a couple things you can do. If you're on a website in Safari, you can press and hold, okay, and you can simply say show text, and it's going to actually show you the text as you can see, and you'll see a button at the bottom that you can toggle on and off for the show text feature. Now once you select the text, you can tap on this button and you can copy that text, all right, and then you can actually share it, or you can press and hold and you can see, you can select the text just like that, copy the text, and paste it anywhere. So that's an incredible little feature. It works pretty cool. Now another thing you can do is if you're at the website again, you can just press and hold on the text. It's just gonna automatically select that almost magically. So when you expand this selection area, you can copy that text right off from that website. Now the other way, if you're in your Photos application, let's say that you're in the class and you took a photo of the whiteboard, the teacher was writing something, you can do the same thing. Take a photo of the whiteboard, assume this is the whiteboard here, again, press and hold, and it allows you to simply extract that text, no problem. I can extract any text. This is a photo, by the way, so I can extract any text and I can select it just like this, copy, paste, whatever. Or I can just share the text with anybody that I want. So that's that. Let's move on. The next thing I want to quickly talk about has to do with a very simple setting. You go to your settings, okay, and then basically all you do is you go into display and brightness. At the bottom, you choose between bold text or light text. So some people find it easier to see bolder text as opposed to just the light, thin text over here. Just one more thing to configure for the iPhone. Now the next thing has to do with security. Very important. You want to go to your settings and you want to go into the main display here, and then you want to scroll down till you find Face ID. You click on it. It's going to ask you to put in your passcode. So I'm going to put mine right here, and it's going to dump you right here. So on the top it says use Face ID for. You want to make sure all these guys are enabled for convenience. To unlock your iPhone, to purchase items, to make Apple Pay payments, and to fill passwords in password fields. And also, you can modify it. If you turn this off, it's not going to do auto-filling. So you have that option. And then you get a couple things here that are very important at the bottom. First and foremost, you do want to set an alternate appearance. Maybe you can set up another Face ID with a mask on or your sunglasses on, so when you're outside, it's going to be easier to recognize your face with an alternate appearance, maybe longer hair, shorter hair, whatever, maybe a wig. So that's for that. But here's very important two features that you want to make sure are enabled and understand what they are. First one is require attention for Face ID. So basically, let's say you're asleep, your eyes are closed, and somebody grabs your iPhone and uses your face to try to unlock the phone. If this feature is enabled, it's going to make sure, the iPhone is going to make sure using the Face ID system that your eyes are in fact open and you're looking at the camera. Otherwise, it's not going to unlock the phone. So nobody can pull a fast one on you. And this is a related feature. Enable this as well. And make sure you read the description right over here. And the final thing that's very important is this setting at the bottom right over here. It says require passcode. You want to make sure this is always set to immediately. As you can see, if it's not, when you turn off the phone, it takes a couple seconds for it to actually lock. So somebody can double tap and go inside right away. So make sure it's set immediately, all right? So that is in relation to Face ID. Additional security features that you want to make sure you have set up, and these are very important. Again, let me go in here. Again, under Face ID and passcode, all the way at the bottom, it says right here, do you want to allow access to these features when your phone is locked? You don't, okay? You want to disable all these guys immediately, okay? What this means is, for example, I'm going to enable this one right here. That's the control center. So when I lock the phone, now the phone is locked, anybody can double tap and pull this down to access your control center. And they might change a setting that you don't want them to change. Maybe turn off the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi, access something here they're not supposed to. So that's very important that you're here and you disable that access. Now when I have it disabled, my phone is simply more secure because in the lock screen, I cannot access the control center. So the same thing works with all these options. You want to make sure none of these are accessible unless you personally unlock your phone. All right, so that's the security settings that have to be changed. Let's move on. Now here's another cool thing. You want to go to your settings, okay? You want to go to sounds and haptic. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you simply disable this option right here, vibrate on ring. By disabling this option, you're extending your battery. So if your phone is ringing, you can hear the phone. There's no need for it to vibrate and waste battery. The vibration engine requires battery power. So disable this, but make sure this is enabled. So if the phone is silent, now you cannot hear it, but at least you can feel it if it vibrates. Great way to save battery in a subtle manner. All right, so the next thing that's again very important is actually your ability to restrict applications on your phone so other people cannot access them or even install apps without your permission. So here's what you want to do. I'm going to show you from the very beginning. You want to do your settings, okay? You want to scroll down just a little bit and you want to go into screen time right here. You click on it, okay? You can ignore all these things on the top. What you want to do is you want to scroll down and go into content and privacy restrictions. So it says block inappropriate content. So what you do is you'll click on this guy. Now when you click this for the very first time and try to modify a setting, initially it's going to ask you to pick a passcode. When you pick that passcode, make sure it is different than your lock screen passcode. So let's say I want to disable access to certain applications. All I do is I go to allowed apps, okay, and basically I can disable them from here. So let me show you. If I disable all these applications, now when I go outside, the camera and the mail, as you can see, just disappeared in addition to those other applications. So if I go back to my settings, go back over here, okay, let me log in. It's going to ask me to put my passcode every time, so you know it's secure. I can enable or disable these as I please, including these guys right here. Now this is very important, iTunes Store, so people simply cannot access the store to buy stuff, okay, because it's your money and they might buy it by mistake. Your kid might buy something by mistake. And also if you want to keep your health data private, you can disable this as well, okay? So the other big thing is over here. Now this also applies to people that give their phones away to anybody, friends, kids, family members. What you do is before you give your phone away, make sure you don't allow them to go to the App Store and install apps or make purchases, okay? Sometimes kids just click stuff and before you know it, you got $100 of charges for no reason on a stupid game. One more thing that's very important, deleting applications. So you can actually make sure people don't delete applications. So it says don't allow. If I go outside and if I press and hold, you can see all of these guys start to wiggle, but I'm not able to delete the application. I can hide the application. It says remove from home screen, but I cannot delete that application. And that's because I put that security there so people cannot do it. So you have all those options, and also make sure you disable this. This is going to help you yourself. In-app purchases, disable. You're going to save a lot of money, and also other people can't accidentally play games and start buying upgrades again with your money. Okay, so these are the options. And then finally, we have content restrictions. This is a little bit more advanced, but it allows you to actually modify the kind of content that can be accessed on your phone. You can come here and look at it. Quite an advanced little category, and it's at the bottom right over here. So other than that, this is screen time, just so you know. It basically shows you how you are using your phone, and you can set app limitations. You can set things like downtime so you don't get to access applications in certain time periods and all that stuff. So that's all great, but the restrictions is the most important. Now, one more cool thing you need to be aware of at all times is privacy. So when you go to your settings, okay, you do want to scroll down a little bit and you go to privacy. And from here, you can look at certain applications and see how they're tracking you. So for example, the camera application, you can click on this and you can see what applications have access to your camera. So in this instance, the App Clips app has access to my camera. I can click on it and I can actually see why. Just something nice to be aware of. So as you use more applications, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, they're going to show up right here and you're going to be able to manage them properly. Same with the Bluetooth. You go in here, who has access to my Bluetooth? Now because it's a fresh phone, you're not going to see anything here, but you have that option. The next thing that you want to make sure is all good to go. You go to your settings, okay? You want to go down to General. You want to go into iPhone storage. You want to click on this guy, and based on how big your storage is, if you have a 128 megabyte model, 256 or whatever, if you're trying to save space, make sure you enable this option it says offload unused apps. So the phone is going to know which apps you don't use. It's not going to happen right away. Over time, it's going to learn. And then what it's going to do is it is going to offload those applications, which is going to save you additional data that you can use to store photos or videos. Meanwhile, you can have a breakdown of how your storage is being used on the top right here and at the bottom. All right, look at that. iOS system by itself takes 8 gigs of data already, plus 4. So that's 12 gigabytes already you cannot use on your phone. So you can be aware of all that in here. Now the next thing that you want to do is you want to make sure you actually customize the control center here. It's fully customizable. Now these top rows, 1, 2, 3, is not going to be customizable, but all these are, and everything is also pressable, so you can press and hold to expand an option, as you can see, and access related settings. But we want to customize these quick toggles here. There's my flashlight, turn on and off, okay? So what you do is you go to your settings, you scroll down a little bit, go to control center, and anything that you want in the control center, you can choose to add from here. So for example, click on plus, the notes application is going to pop up on the top. Let me show you one more thing. Screen recorder, I'm going to tap that over there. I'm going to tap home, low power mode. Now when I go outside, you're going to see new toggles show up at the bottom. For example, here's the screen recorder. I can record the screen, 3, 2, 1. That's the countdown. It's recording the screen right now. Okay, so I can stop it as well. I got the home icon. I can access my home settings over here to turn off my lights and stuff. And here's a low power mode. If the battery is low, you click it to save battery. But again, you probably know all those things, but you want to make sure you customize things the way you want them. And one more thing, when you're customizing your control center, you are able to move things up and down so you can have things that you want on the corner easily accessible. So if I want the screen recording option on the top, all the way on the left, I put it here so it shows up on here for easy access. Now one thing that's very important has to do with your camera. Now when you go into your camera application, you're unable to make modifications to the camera settings. So you do want to go to your settings. You want to scroll down till you see the camera options here, and from here you can manage your camera settings. What I recommend you do is enable a grid, so it's going to be easy to compose your photo. The grid is going to give you these lines. Let me set up later here. So these lines are the grid. They're turned off by default. Turn that on, disable this, and then what you can do is for video, choose the option you want to use to record your video. So I recommend 1080p at 60 frames per second, but if you want to record 4K, you can click these options as well. This is the most used option right here. Now one more thing, when you're in your camera application and you go to your video, you can modify that setting over here. So it says high definition 60 frames per second. I can click on HD, make it 4K. I can click on 60 and scroll between 30, 60, 24. Just so you know, you can do it from here as well. And then also when you go over here, that's your slow motion recording speed. Keep it right here, that's the best option. And with the formats, if you want to save as much space as possible, choose high efficiency. If you want to have a video format that is compatible with as many devices as possible, go for most compatible. It will take a little bit more space, but not too much. But if you're mostly an iPhone user and you're in the Apple ecosystem, this is fine for you. But if you have a Windows PC, maybe an Android phone, and you share things back and forth, photos and videos wise, most compatible is the way to go. So those are a few camera settings you want to be aware of. Alright, so that brings us to the end of this video, the first things to do on your brand new iPhone 13 Pro Max. Questions, comments, drop them down below. For now, guys, have a fantastic day.